Okay, so thank you. All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so here you go. We're going to discuss now the teaching process. The teaching process will cover environment, the script that I have provided from opening to closing, and the remarks part. So it will be divided into three. So first part, preparation. It's more on your environment. So this slide was actually provided to you guys in advance in the pre-task preparation. I would like you to review the slide, try to study, and prepare yourself for the pre-task. Okay, environment, the way how you present yourself in front of the camera, lightings, webcam checking, background. You should always look directly to the camera to have an eye contact with your student. That's very important. Okay, but not all the time because it's quite awkward when it's something like you're always looking at this. You haven't familiarized your lesson yet. Okay, so just glance. All right, so next one, background, quite background. But I know that in our settings, it's quite difficult to meet this one. So make use of your mute button and learn to unmute yourself if it's already your turn to speak. Okay, because we don't want those those translator, those who perform sign language during the sauna. Okay, because you are applying TPR actions. So while you're on mute, you look like those the what do you call that, the the person who performed the sign language thing below. Okay, so here, punctuality. Yeah, I have mentioned this one earlier. Be early, 5 minutes before the time, enter the classroom, leave the classroom at exactly 26 minutes of the time. All right. Then the timeline that I have mentioned earlier, you will need to allocate minutes so you can divide the 25 minutes and deliver the class smoothly. Introduction now. So this is for the rapport establishment. I would like you guys to build rapport, of course, because your student will be intimidated if you will not build rapport. Even me myself, I am cracking joke in the middle of my training. So yeah, building rapport here is just like you will need to be creative. Okay, so you have to demonstrate not only 100, but you will need to exaggerate things, 200% passion when it comes to building rapport with your student. So in ASL, even if it's not your hobbies, you will really claim it. Your student will say, I like reading books. Oh, I also like reading books. Okay, you will also claim so that you will be able to build rapport anyway. They will not be asking you what are the books that you have read. I only read manuals. I only read I don't even read manuals for my mobile device. I'll just navigate it right away. Okay, so all you have to do is to build rapport. Remember that they are going to rate you guys with star ratings. Okay, and building rapport is very helpful so that your student will really, okay, your student will really participate in the class. Okay, so the aim of the building establishment of rapport is to drive the student to respond happily and actively. Remember, um, 1, 2, 3, that's the intro part. If you cannot build rapport here, expect that your student will not really participate in your class. Okay, and it should be maintained up until the ending. Why? That's the decision part of the student, whether to give you good ratings or to re-enroll to your class. All right, so next we have the greetings. So I have sent you videos earlier on how my tutors perform their classes. So try to observe how they deliver their introduction. All right. Usually for plain introduction for professionals, you will just deliver it plainly, monotonous. In kids, you will need to observe the correct rising and falling intonation. In business class, it's just monotonous, plain, formal. Okay, so in this part, you will also apply the TPR. So first thing, greetings. That's all about your intro. In the warm up part, it's how you are going to um, invite the student to participate and deliver their introduction. So since you will be the tutor, you will initiate the conversation. So instead of waiting for the student to ask to deliver their intro, you will try to ask them icebreaker questions. Okay, icebreaker like what's your name and so on and so forth. And for kids, it's really necessary to ask for their age because it would be easy for you to adjust your teaching technique based on the age, right? Because like let's say you are going to discuss, hi, my name is teacher Ryan, and he's already 12. Okay, so you will need to ask them for their age. For adults, actually, they are obvious, or their age is it's really obvious when they are already adults. So no need to ask for the age because that's part of the personal info that needs not to be discussed during the conversation, even in hours. We don't discuss age, even if they will say it's just a number. Okay, so we have here lead in. Lead in is when you are going to introduce the topic to your student. So you are going to introduce the title, the book, Rainbow Bridge 1. For today's lesson, we are going to discuss Rainbow Bridge 1. We are going to have or discuss lesson 2 entitled Things for School. Okay, then you can insert ad-lib as well. What are the things that you usually use in school? We will learn that here in this lesson. Okay, so are you ready for today's topic? Once they're ready, turn the page. Usually it will show you this one. The parts of, it will show you illustration about school supplies, so on. For colors, it will show you color wheel or sometimes just paint. Okay, then when you move your mouse or even the arrow inside the room, it will circle an object. So you will ask the student, what's this object? What color is this? Or so on and so forth. Then when the student is having difficulty, guys, you will not say, what's this? They're not your kids. Don't force them to answer it correctly. What will you do? You will need to give a positive reinforcement for that. So let's say I have an object. What color is this? Student will say, it's white. Okay, nice try. But maybe this one, the reflection of the glass is white. But this color is black. Okay, or this one, for example, you are trying to ask the student to give you a feedback or to answer questions like this. So this is the remodeling thing. So you will always need to provide positive feedback. So going back here, anyway, I'll discuss that part later on. You will try to give them a hint that this is the correct object. So normally the system will circle pencil, then pencil, then the student will be having difficulty giving the correct word in English, or sometimes they cannot give the correct pronunciation of the word pencil because they will say pencil. The L sound is locking. All right. So what will you do? Since they cannot give you the name, let's say, for example, this is a pencil. Okay, you are going to inform them. This is a pencil. What's the object again here? Again, this is a pencil. What's this? Okay, positive. So you will not say, ay bobo. In our kids, when I was still young, my parents will actually they they call me ay tanga. Pencil nga, di ba pencil? But we will be teaching kids. So they don't have the same self-esteem that we have before. Okay? Because of the social media it really affects their self-esteem. So most of the time we are doing positive reinforcement now. And like in our days, it's okay if we will be called Bobo, right? It motivates us to do better next time because you don't want to be criticized. We are taking it positively. Okay. So next, let's have the teaching material. We have critical teaching materials. At the same time, we have supplementary. But I'm not asking you guys to gather this material. You can use recycled materials like your old school supplies, textbook, and so on. The reason why I provided you the lesson material so you can prepare for your props. All right. So yeah, we cannot gather this one. We don't have Q pass. Okay. The department store will really ask you for Q pass. You cannot they will not ask, let you get in. Okay, so we have here props, relevant props that you can use, especially for discussions, ball or cars. So next, songs and music. You can use you can apply that over to your discussion. And software like Minicam. You can use this one to add filters to your device camera. It can give you mask, ears, headbands, and so on. Okay. In this level, this is for our reward system. Reward system, you will need to provide reward in a timely manner. So it should be collective. Like let's say after the entire discussion, you will give them reward. But within those entire session, I would like you guys to reinforce them or acknowledge their positive behavior. How? Oral phrase. Most of the time, we deliver great, awesome, perfect, great job, excellent. You can use those power words to encourage them. Okay? So after delivering their introduction and greet you, say thank you. That's great. It's nice to hear that. Thank you for greeting me. Okay? Then so on so forth. Okay, because actually reward system is age-based too. You cannot give stars to grade 6. Okay. And actually, I made an experiment before. A Chinese college girl taking up communication in China. I give them reward all the time. I told them, I'll try to give you stars. Thing in the classroom, there's a reward, right? A trophy. It will actually give them a big trophy in their camera, sound effect, and confettis. Okay, so it's so kindergarten. Okay, so next part here, guys, is the TPR. I know that sometimes that we cannot really notice that we have performed the entire 6 steps of the TPR. Because sometimes what we can only notice is the application of gestures like waving. We have already formulate that in our mind. That's why we have performed other steps before we perform the actual action or the demonstration. Okay, so what you will need to do here in the TPR is you will need to apply actions. So let's say method of teaching language using physical movement to react to verbal input. And I have examples. Okay, examples when saying greetings. Of course, in your welcome part, you will need to ask your student after you greet them, welcome to my class. Okay, you will ask them if they can see you or hear you clearly. Okay, that's gestures, TPR. Okay, so your turn, common. Okay, then other things, circle and object, because there are some instructions, guys, that you will really need to apply TPR because you're handling grade 3. You're handling 3 years old. So you will need to look and circle for an object. Okay, please look and circle a pencil. Okay, you are going to apply that one when it's something like kids. Okay, so in your evaluator guys will also be checking if you can apply TPR effectively and flexibly. Okay, so how? They will check on the three steps or three bullets here. One, if you can demonstrate drawing and circling on the board. Okay. Singing or stretching with body movement because some topics, it contains audio. Okay. Just like shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, where's your head? Here. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. That's for my energizer when it comes to discussing body parts. Okay, then I have Baby Shark as well in my audios. Okay, especially in ClassIn because I can store their nursery rhymes. So I have that Baba Black Sheep and Brown Sheep and White Sheep. Okay, so I have uploaded that there. So that's part of my introduction as well, or let's say my energizer for the student to condition them so that they can really participate in the class. So next is playing games with hand signals, just like this. Actually, it's not just simply giving them what's hard, but behind this picture is this 3-year-old kid is having difficulty expressing what are the things that he likes to do. Okay, so the tutor here asked the student to respond hard. The tutor actually using textbook of it contains all hobbies, food, and so on. So that picture, the tutor will just circle. Okay, do you like eating cake? Do you like basketball? So student will just respond, heart, I like. If not, open heart or cross. Then when it comes to simple yes or no, guys, it would be very plain for the student if you are going to ask them and respond simple yes or no. So if you can see some kindergarten teachers, okay, their patience is actually 1,000 level. Mine is just only 5. Okay, so they will make it more interactive because kids are more on playing. Even you can notice that in your kids that they will really cooperate with you if it's something like playing. Okay, so what will you do for plain yes or no question? Apply gestures. Please reply yes. Form a circle when it's yes and an X sign when it's no. Okay, so do you like this one? Do the dog say meow? Okay, no teacher, then you will try to apply timer as well because in the classroom we have timer. So for me to add thrill over to my activity, I'll add timer 5 seconds respond. Then the student will be shouting and jumping. Okay, so the student will be very happy in my class because they find it very lively. Okay, they can learn at the same time they are playing. Okay, so next we have the scaffolding. In scaffolding, guys, learn this one. All you have to do in scaffolding, actually, this is popularized by Levi Gotsky in the zone of proximal development. That's actually in the discipline of psychology and education. Um, for Albert Bandura, it's more on remodeling. Student will, child will copy most of the time what the adult usually do. They learn from copying. In Levi Gotsky, he in the zone of proximal development, he actually explained this one by learners will learn through assistance from knowledgeable adult, which as tutors or teachers or even parents. So student can perform the task independently through your assistance. So like let's say student is having difficulty reading the word bag. What will you do? So let's start. The bag starts with letter B. So you will give the sound. B for ba. Okay? Bag. B for ba. Bag. Then you can use that word in a sentence or use the word and make a phrase, a bag. And then that's only for the first level for the guidance. B for black. B, B, black. B, B, bag. It's a bag. It's black. Because it's quite different if it's a black. Okay, so black is an adjective. So here, so it's a black bag. It's a bag. So normally guys, evaluator, as what I have noticed, they will just focus on it's a, then object. Okay, so since you will be teaching kids during the demo class, don't give them complicated sentences. Only short sentence, simple sentence. Okay, then that's actually for the guidance, the B, B, black. B, B, bag. So if you can hear, the student can really perform that task, move here. You will now try to ask the student to read a sentence and repeat after you. It's a bag. Again, what's this? It's a bag. Then you will test if they can really perform it independently here in this level. Because what will you do? You will take out a real object, a picture, or even a drawing in the board or on the board or inside the room. You will just circle the object. What's this object? Or what is this? Okay, or you will be showing, okay, Ming Ming, what's this? My tone will actually change if I'm going to handle kids, because remember in BPO we have to observe the AHT, so we have to finish less than a minute. Okay, the conversation. But here in ESL we don't have EHT, as long as you can deliver the class well. Okay, so if the student is having difficulty, then you can try to apply this one again. Okay, B, bag. B, bag. A bag. So what's this again? It's a bag. So I'll just grab anything. When I perform my demo class, it was an ambush demo class, so I only have my cell phone, my planner, my tumbler. So I asked the student, let's say that this is a bag. So what's this? Okay. So grab whatever you can grab. Okay, as a sort of example. So next level, guys, it's actually things that surrounds scaffolding. So everything that we have discussed earlier, using of props, using of the scaffolding itself, TPR, those are those revolves under scaffolding. So if you have score for scaffolding, expect that you will receive score for TPR and props if you have used props. Okay, so guys, TPR, scaffolding, using of props, remodeling, those are extra points. Okay, it will give you additional points. Let's say you only reach 60 and you have performed the teaching techniques well. You will reach 75 or 80. Okay, so next, let's have remodeling. This one is where you are going to perform positive response. It can be applied anytime because the goal here is you don't need to or avoid doing overcorrection and correct the student in a positive fashion. Look at this example. This figure, it's more on look and circle. Okay, so let's say I have student Ming Ming. Ming Ming, look and circle for an eraser. But take a look. Ming Ming circled a pencil. What will you do? You will say, Bobo? No, you will not. You will say, you will acknowledge it. Very nice try, dear. But very nice try, Ming Ming. However, we are not looking for a pencil with eraser. We are looking for just eraser alone. I have an example here. Look at this. This is an eraser. So since this object is not correct, We only have 1 and 2. So which one looks like this? So in that way, the student will be able to answer correctly, right? So elimination. Elimination, because you will be using the example. This is not board exam, but you will apply elimination. Okay, so student will now be able to circle the correct answer there, but you will not end there. Why? You will still need to practice their learning. You will need to highlight, not the literal highlight, but you will ask them to read it aloud. Or you can cover either object, or you can ask them, where's the eraser? Can you draw a line? There, teacher. Okay, so what's this object again? It's an eraser. Okay, so next, let's have, where's the next level? Next level is the translanguaging, the last part. Translanguaging is an application of language to language. You are going to integrate Chinese and English. So remember in my script, it contains there, Ni hao, Lao Shi, Ryan. Means hello, I'm teacher Ryan. Okay, so you can practice those things, and we are not really requiring you guys to study Chinese. Okay, you can use translator. Remember in the chat box, it can translate, right? So it's already a form of translanguaging. And we are not only limited to this one. Actually, we are trying to help you guys discuss more slide and make it simple, because some slide, it needs to be discussed 2 minutes. For 2 minutes, 1 minute, okay? 1 minute is different. So 1 minute and either 2 minutes. All right, so in our level, it's quite difficult for us to answer questions like if the student will ask you, what do you mean by what's this, teacher? Right? If we are going to explain that, we are trying to complicate it for kids, because it will result to a lot of chain reactions, chain answers, okay, based on our level. So what will we do? You'll try to translate it. So they will no longer they will no longer ask you. Okay, I have provided here translation. Can you read this one? Okay, that's the meaning of this word. What's this? Okay, so you will no longer complicate things. Just like my colleague, he was actually asked about God. I don't know how he answered, but it's the kid who asked. So the kid will no longer know about John Locke, all right, or Rene Descartes. It's different from them. Okay, so anyway, here you will just only try to simplify everything for the kid. Okay, then application of some other action. Remember, action is TPR. Action can also be scaffolding. Action can also be used for translanguaging. So you will hit everything for the teaching technique if you will apply action. Facial expression to represent emotion. Using pictures. It can be TPR. It can be translanguaging. It can be remodeling. Okay? So you can really hit points if you will apply. Okay, props, translanguaging, TPR, scaffolding, and remodeling. So you have already hit everything. So expect for a higher score. Okay, so next level is time management. So if you're going to think, if you're going to apply those teaching techniques, so it doesn't mean, guys, that I would like you to memorize. Oh, I need to apply translanguaging here. Okay, in one topic, you can apply all. Okay, by just using picture, it covers all the teaching technique. Using action covers all the teaching technique. So it will help you meet the time management requirement because you have tried to simplify everything, right? So next, you will need to meet here the aim. Before the end of the class, tutor needs to help the student summarize. Okay, what will you do? You will need to ask the student to you will need to ask them, what have you learned for today's lesson? Okay, so if they cannot remember everything, try to help them. Okay, since it's almost time, let me help you about the recap. For today's lesson, we have discussed blah, blah, blah. You will reach the review part. But we need to meet one key takeaway: summarize and reinforce the target language to help the student here. Help the student to summarize and reinforce. So these are the topic that we have, or the things that we have covered for today's lesson, blah, blah, blah. Report, and then reach the review part. In the review part, meet at least one key takeaway. So what will you do to meet the one key takeaway? While you are reviewing, these are the things that we have learned today, or words that we have learned today. I have noticed that you have mispronounced the word pencil earlier. Can you read after me? Pencil. Next, ruler, because they will say ruler. Sometimes they will mispronounce, interchange L and R sound. Sometimes they will say rural. Okay, pencil. Eraser. Okay, so you can try to ask them to read after you while you are performing the review section. In that way, you can meet the aim, the one key takeaway. It's just one key, most of the time four. Okay, so you can ask them to read after you. Next level, constructive feedback. How will you give constructive feedback? You will need to prepare constructive feedback so that it would be easy for you to note. Okay, constructive feedback is giving positive feedback, that's giving pros, cons, and suggestions, just like this in the comment section. Pros, cons, and suggestions, or we call it sandwich method. Sandwich method because we are going to sandwich the negative performance of the student with both positive. Okay, so positive feedback or constructive feedback. Well done, or let's say, thank you for attending my class today, Ming Ming. I have noticed that you can really answer questions well. You did follow some instructions, some flowering words, okay? Giving the positive performance of the student. However, okay, now you will need to insert the negative. So student strength, now the weaknesses. However, I have noticed that you have difficulty with RNL sounds, or the way how you compose sentence, because I have noticed that um, there's an issue with subject-verb agreement, or even incorrect use of tenses during the entire discussion. So we have now the strength, the weaknesses of the student, right? Positive, insert your negative by saying however, the negative. After the negative, you will deliver suggestion. So that suggestions are available here. In order for you to improve those things that I have mentioned, here are my suggestions. First, you will need to read more books, but you will not end here. Explain why do they need to read more books. Please read more books to improve your vocabulary. Listen more, or listen English songs or music for you to improve your English, your pronunciation, at the same time your listening skills. And lastly, watch English movies or films. Most of the time you can ask them to watch Choo Choo TV or the Peppa Pig, okay? You can watch Peppa Pig to improve your speaking skills and vocabulary as well. At the same time, it will improve your speaking and listening skills. So you will always need to give reason why do they need to do this one. If you will not give reasons, they will just wonder, why did a teacher said, why did my teacher say I need to read more books? I only have math here. I'm having difficulty. Okay, so that's actually the coverage for today's training about the teaching technique. But guys, remember this one. Create template for your closing. So it would be easy for you to do copy and paste. The template that you can create for your closing can be used as your constructive feedback. At the same time, you'll be able to rest and use your 5 minutes break before each class. Why? Because it's just easy to copy and paste, right? Save it here, save, remarks already finished. All right? I can even use my 5 minutes to brew coffee or even eat my dinner. Yes, I'm I'm doing those things. Okay, so remember, these are the coverage for today's um, training. Okay, teaching techniques. I know that you're a bit sleepy now. It's a little bit late. We're not yet done. I'm just kidding. So actually that ends our training. And guys, don't forget to leave message to your supervisor's inbox. If there are questions most of the time for process or processes here in ACADSOC, feel free to leave your question in our group chat. And by the way, guys, here, where is that? There you go. Actually, I have created this one. So for if you have selected topic for colors and shape one, just open this slide. I have already created slide. Starting from your opening, checking. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Welcome to my class. Okay. Welcome to ACADSOC. I am teacher. Because you can upload this directly to the slide. Then I am teacher Ryan. What is your name? Okay. How old are you? Are you 1, 2, 3, 4, so on? Then mood. Then next, are you ready for today's class? Our topic for today is about colors and shape one. What is this? So warm up. Warm up question for the topic that you're going to discuss. What's this? How many colors do we have here? You can ask questions, something related to the topic. Now, part one, warm up. How many colors can you see here? So on and so forth. Discuss, 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 and that's it. And then once you reach the closing, I also have closing assessment. So you will just only supply. Okay, it's already straight, guys. Just follow, familiarize yourself. You can upload this one because this is already the entire topic. So if you are going to open the topic itself, colors and shape one, right? We have this one. So that's actually the topic. But this topic from the browser doesn't contain my closing, okay, or your opening. So I have already created because it's just like this, very plain for the textbook PDF. So here as a form of help, I have added. So you can no longer forget what are the things that you will need to do next. Ask question to your student, material verification. Okay, welcome the student to your class. Name, ask the age. How are you today? Are you ready for today's class? Our lesson for today is about Rainbow Bridge 1, Colors and Shape 1, Lesson 13. Do you know what's this? Okay, student will just reply. How many colors can you see here? Blah, blah, blah. Then let's have the warm up. Okay, ask the student for the colors. Listen to your teacher and read. So listen and repeat most of the time. Then another listen and repeat. Next, you will need to activate the student's pen so that the student can look and match. Okay, use the pen, look and match. Where's yellow? What color is this? Yellow. Match.